Hello and welcome back to the channel. Today we're playing Drawback chess, where each player is assigned a random drawback, like Lame Duck, where you can't move your king, or True Gentleman, where you can never capture a queen. My goal is to win 5 games. Let's get started with game number 1. All right, game number 1, we get the white pieces. Our drawback is ladies first. You can only move your king if you moved your queen on the previous move. Okay, that's a little bit annoying. It shouldn't be an issue really in the opening, and we'll just have to find a spot for our queen to develop before we castle, and after that I think we'll be fine. Just try not to trade off into an end game, I think is the strategy here. Because if we do trade off into an end game and the kings need to become active, I mean, it's pretty much over at that point. Especially if we trade queens, I don't know if I automatically lose. I guess I wouldn't automatically lose, I'd just never be able to move my king again. So we'll have to wrap up this game somewhere in the middle game. Also, I don't think we've ever gotten this drawback before. I did have a little bit of an extra time, so I did do a little bit of counting, and we've unlocked a total of 129 different drawbacks. And there are no drawbacks that start with the letters V, X, or Z. I don't know if anybody needed that information, but we'll play, let's see. We do want to castle at some point. I think we can play Bishop G5 just fine, maybe F6, we get a little trade, and we'll probably look for something like E3, Bishop E2. We'll need a sort of inconspicuous queen move like Queen D2 before we ultimately castle. I mean, it'd be even better if I could castle like opposite side of my opponent. Like my opponent castles king side, I could castle queen side, and then the game lends itself to a race of attacks. I think E3 here is perfectly sound. Castles, okay, this check is also perfectly fine. King to H8, Queen D2, Queen E2, either of those moves, and then I'm looking at castling right away. D5, does that work? Oh yeah, I can't just take because queen takes back. And then if I take the knight to remove the defender of the queen takes D1 as check. Okay, well that's a little bit of a shame. Can I just take here first? It seems like I can. The problem is I don't want to trade queens, because here I could very easily win a pawn, like takes, whoops, rook takes. I take with check, the king moves over. The problem is I'd have to kind of cement that bishop there, and it kind of derails me from my plan of castling. Let's just go for it. Let's try. Bishop takes. We'll do like bishop takes back, c4, knight c3, try to really hold on to that bishop in the center. Oh, we get queen takes anyways. Oh, I could even take here with check. That's very nice. Okay, I can take with check, and then I can castle on the next turn. I mean, I could also just take the bishop. And that will also have been a queen move. Queen takes b2, queen d4, but again, I don't want to trade queens. Okay, let's take here. If my opponent does actually take, I'll just castle, allow this capture. Oh wait, and I'm looking at this anyways. Never mind, queen b2 doesn't work. Okay, sweet, there's a free rook. Bishop g4 here is probably a little bit scary. We get rook to d8, so I'm good to castle. This is good. Queen takes b2, doesn't lose the rook anymore. I can play like knight to a3, for example. b6 does hit the queen, and I still don't want to trade my queen. Let's play queen to h5. But it's kind of interesting because the more I attack my opponent, the more my opponent is incentivized to actually like try to trade the queens. But I also want to play an attacking game, so it's a little bit weird. G6, queen h6 is probably fine. Bishop g4 looks a little bit annoying. Bishop b7 with a similar idea. Oh, my opponent offered a draw. No, I don't think this is a drawing. It's interesting too, because this whole variant is not a very, is not drawish at all. None of this lends itself to a draw. Queen does take on b2. What if I play knight g5? I mean, there's a reason my opponent must be offering a draw. There must be something wrong in this position for them. Could just play knight d2. Let's do that. Let's play it safe and sound. Knight d2 connects the knights, connects the rooks. Everybody here looks fine. Knight g5 incoming, looking at h7. Queen b4. Oh no, my knight. Oh goodness. They should definitely take that. They could even take with the rook. There's no ulterior motive, none whatsoever. Or they could play something, you know, really boring like queen d7 defending the mate. You know, they have options here. Okay, queen d7 is in fact what we get. Let's play knight check. Oh, queen sacrifice. That is excellent. We'll take if the rook takes on d2, bishop takes. Should be winning. Rook d7 defends h7 mate, but then there's queen to f8 on the board. Oh, sweet. And with that, we win game number 1. All right, let's go ahead and pop up the info board. Okay, our opponent's drawback was just passing through. You can't capture on the 4th rank. Interesting. I don't actually think that came into play. And if it did, it was marginal and didn't really change the position. Not to mention, we got a pretty easy drawback, so maybe this opponent was actually relatively similarly rated to us. We are now 1 for 1. Let's go ahead and move on to game number 2. All right, game number 2, we get the white pieces again. Don't mind if I do. Our drawback is alternator. You must alternate between pawn moves and non-pawn moves. Okay, this one I'm pretty sure we have gotten, and my first instinct was that it was actually pretty fine, but I remember last time I messed up because I ended up making a bunch of pawn moves way too early, or at least very aggressive pawn moves. So we'll keep it nice and conservative, because obviously if we like trade off all the pawns somehow, I mean, it's game over. And you don't even have to trade them off. If you just trade off the ones that can move and then have a bunch of pawns that are stuck, like this for example, then you're in the same situation. So must move a non-pawn. As far as the London goes, the London is a pretty amicable opening with a lot of these drawbacks. It's pretty simple. Must move a pawn. We can make a pawn move. None of these moves really rely on a particular order. Oh, that is... Must move a non-pawn as well. Okay, don't mind if I do. And I guess trading off is actually something I should avoid. I mean, I'll take free material if I can take it. Okay, must move a pawn again. H3. I remember last time I ended up playing super aggressive and then I was like running low on pawn moves. So this time we'll play a little bit more reserved. And what I was saying is I should probably avoid trading off too many pieces because the more pieces I have, the more options I have for alternating between pawn and non-pawn. Let's go knight d2. On the next turn, we must move a pawn. It'd be nice to... Actually, I guess I do know where my opponent's going to castle because there's no rook here anymore. So I guess they have to castle kingside. We must move a pawn. We'll defend it like this. It's a little bit janky, but if my opponent takes, I can take with the g-pawn, open up a file, and we have a pretty good kingside attack going there. Must move a non-pawn, knight to e5. Pretty natural way to grab the center. Opens up the queen. We get knight takes. Easy fork. Can't actually do anything about it because we're going to have to move a non-pawn on the next turn anyways. Oh, sweet, but the opponent sacks. Great, so we take back and we actually do win the piece after all. There's a little bit of that here in this variant as well. A little bit of bluff. We get knight to e4 and we must move a pawn. Yeah, I'd rather not move a pawn here, but since we have to, I guess h4 is as good as any other pawn move. Slowly working our way towards the king side. Luckily, we must move a non-pawn on this turn. Problem is, I think this bishop is basically trapped. Because we have this, but after e5, we can't play bishop to a7 because we'll have to move a pawn on that turn. So if we must move a non-pawn, should I just sack the bishop outright? It's a little bit desperate. Let's go bishop d4 anyways. I mean, you never know when your opponent's drawback will kick in as well. We must move a pawn on the next turn. If we do get e5... It doesn't work out very neatly because we must move a pawn, then the opponent will take, and then on that turn we'll have to move a non-pawn. But see, that's why you play it out anyways. We get pawn to f5, and we still have to move a pawn. Let's go h5. Nice, now we have a bishop that's actually staring into the king's position. So it's gone from a bishop that was going to be lost a move ago to a key piece in this attack. Wow, rook to f6, must move a non-pawn. Why would I not want to take that? Let's go for it. Okay, cool. And we won. Okay, sweet. With that, we win game number 2. Let's go ahead and pop up the info board. All right, your opponent lost due to their drawback. Your opponent's drawback was rook on the 7th. By move 15, you must move one of your rooks onto the 2nd rank. Oh, interesting. Yeah, that's a tough one. So even though our drawback was significantly harder, I would say the London is a pretty hard one to get your rook onto the 2nd rank against. Let's go to move on to game number 3. All right, nice. We get the white pieces again for game number 3, and our drawback is my kingdom for a horse. If your opponent captures a knight, you lose. Oh goodness, I've been on the short end of this stick before. We get c5. Let's play e3, pre-move the recapture. Only reason I play e3 and not c3 is because I'd rather them not take, me take back. And then like bishop b4, and I'm already looking at giving away a knight. Okay, we get e6. Oh goodness, I already don't like this. We get knight to f6. I have to protect these knights at all costs. But at the same time, I don't want to make it overwhelmingly obvious that I don't want to move my knights, or at least that I don't want to develop them. So we do have to play for an attack here. I mean, that much is pretty obvious. Because if we don't play for an attack, then we're going to be left basically playing with 3 super weak pieces, 3 kings basically. a6, I'm not really sure what that's trying to set up. Let's play queen to f3. I mean, I'd like them to play b5, that would be kind of nice, but we get knight to c6 instead. And let's just go for it. g4, start looking for some crazy attacking ideas. d6, h4 to follow. g5 is amusing. I don't know if it's worth anything, but it's interesting. We will move this knight out of the way. If the opponent looks for long castles here, okay, no, bishop e7, but if the opponent does look for long castle, then we still have like a3, b4. Let's go bishop d2. Queen to b6, okay. Yeah, I have weakened this pawn by playing bishop to d2. All right, we'll have to go with b3 on this turn. If we do get long castles, we have to break through on the queen side somehow. And I might even try to maneuver my knights, like actively maneuver them over to the queen side. Okay, rook to c8. Definitely can't be looking for a queen side castle anymore. At least I hope they're not. Okay, let's play rook to h3. I'm a little bit nervous about e5, but the idea here is g5, takes. Oh, we did get e5. Rook takes, queen takes, looking for the back rank. Yeah, e5 is a little bit of a pain. We'll go past it with, if we go past it, d4 drops. Takes, 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 end up trading off a knight, and I just can't have that. Okay, we'll go d5 then. We'll try to close up the center. If I can get like c4 and e4, then I think we're in a good spot. Oh, goodness. Okay, bishop takes. Uh-oh. We'll give them every reason to take this. Let's shuffle over to g3. There's no way they take this and not that. Okay, cool. They do take the rook. Do we take back here first, or do we take the bishop? I guess we take the bishop. It's in our position. It's generally a stronger piece. Knight takes on d5, just drops the rook. So we'll take that with check. Bishop goes back to d8. Oh, and I need an attack here very, very quickly. If my position thins out anymore, it's going to be hard not to lose one of these knights. Let's go bishop to f5. I think this is a fair play. Oh, and we do get castles. Holy smokes. Okay, we've got to go back. Bishop c2. Oh no, check! Oh, I didn't see that idea. Oh, I was so focused on playing queen to f5 looking for mate, but there's just check here winning the queen. Oh my goodness. Okay, king to f1. Bye, queen. I appreciate what you did for us. If there's any way that we win this, it would be absolutely insane. Okay, let's play. I don't even know. There's nothing good here. A3? I don't know. I don't know what we're looking for here. Just trying to survive. Oh, they didn't take back. How amusing. Okay, let's go back. Wow, they didn't take again. What is happening? Knight d2? I don't really want to take. I mean, maybe they can't take back, but I'm not sure. Oh goodness, d5. I really feel like I should be able to identify this drawback. Oh, I've got 30 seconds as well. Let's go king g2, slide the rook over. Rook g6. I mean, it does put pressure on this bishop. Oh goodness. Knight to e4, I guess. Again, we're very much playing it on the edge here. If we lose either of these knights, even to a crazy sacrifice, it's game over. Knight back. There's something weird about this. Something stinks here. Let's play this. Looking for back rank ideas. Queen back. What is happening? Check. And they've been struggling to take our pieces. If I play check, I just lose this though. So let's, 10 seconds. Let's move back, I guess. Bishop takes. Does this work in any way? Problem is, if I lose the knight, it's over. Oh goodness. Oh, let's just play back. 3 seconds left on the clock. This is not looking good. We take the king! Nice! Okay, with that, we win game number 3. Oh my goodness, that was absolutely insane. Okay, let's go ahead and pop up the info board. Okay, you won. Holy smokes, we had 4 seconds left on the clock, and objectively, we were totally losing. We lost the queen, the knights were out in the open, the king was also out in the open, but somehow we pulled away. You took your opponent's king. Your opponent's drawback was conscientious objectors. Can't capture with pawns. Yeah, unfortunately, I don't think that explains a lot of our opponent's play, but very, very amusing that we did manage to pull away with the victory. And if you want to pull away with victories in the very beginning of your own chess games, I highly recommend checking out the sponsor of this video, chessreps.com, which offers super easy step-by-step opening practice. This is me learning the Jobava London, and this is me crushing an opponent with the same opening, so yeah, it works. For just $3 a month, you get access to 21 openings with hundreds of lines, and they drop a brand new opening every week. Plus, you can practice in fun ways like time trial mode, where you race to see how quickly you can remember your openings, and drill mode to focus on drilling your opening preparation. If you want to support the channel and become an opening menace, check out chessreps.com. Now, back to the video. Let's go to move on to game number 4. All right, game number 4, we finally get handed the black pieces, and our opponent's name is, we'll reveal if you do, at start of game. Oh, only at start of game. I like how many, names are based off of this. Anyways, our drawback is simp, lose if you have no queen. All right, easy enough. I usually like to play with my queen, so we'll see how we can muster up a kingside attack here one way or another. We'll reveal if you do at start of game. I love how specific they're getting. They have terms and conditions in the names now. Bishop d3, let's go like this. If we can open up a file, then we're looking pretty good for a kingside attack. Knight f3, this is not conducive to a kingside attack. We need a capture. Okay, that's conducive to a kingside attack. Now I just have to figure out how to piece one together. Okay, b3, this is very tempting. I just don't think it does anything. Yeah, because the way you're supposed to play this is like c5, knight c6, or like knight d7, c5, and kind of go for the center. That's traditionally how you play this opening. But I don't want that. I want a kingside attack. Because again, if I play this into an endgame somehow and the queen goes, then it's game over. So I do need a kingside attack. Let's go bishop e7. If we do get g4, knight h4 is fine. Okay, queen to e2. I'm genuinely curious what my opponent's drawback could possibly be. I mean, they're playing a very, very normal, solid, concrete, whatever you want to call it, opening. All right, the only way we're going to find out is by poking the bear. So h5, h4, h3, it's coming one way or another, and we'll either steamroll our opponent, or we will quickly discover that their drawback is perfectly fine, and we have no basis for the attack. Let's see, we get h3, h4. I mean, we can still kind of try to force the issue, like bishop to h5, maybe g5, maybe sacking the pawn. I don't love the idea of the bishop taking and doubling up with the idea of e6, but it might be a necessary evil. We get a4. Yeah, the opponent's playing a great game because the natural thing here for me is to castle queenside. And this is like a very, very early jab in that direction. All right, whether I like it or not, I probably will have to castle queenside, so we'll play queen c7. Bishop to a3. Don't think that is an issue. I mean, it gets rid of my dark squared bishop, which obviously protects my dark squares, but does the same for the opponent. Is this any good? Bishop takes e6. No, that's terrifying. So we'll castle long, and now that the king is out of the center, we'll see if we can follow up on this attack. Rook back to a1. We'll try to do it this way. Keep the bishop staring at the knight. Rook to g8, g5. And I'm a little bit nervous that my opponent might have a drawback that is like resolvable. Like, I don't know, get rid of your dark squared bishop, for example. Because we're playing with a drawback that extends through the whole game, right? If you ever lose your queen, you lose the game. So it's like a permanent issue. But I'm a little bit nervous my opponent may have a non-permanent issue. Rook g8, knight g5. Knight takes on d4. All right, let's see what happens. We're down to a minute 18, so not a lot of time to overthink this anyways. All right, opponent is very critically thinking about something or another because they're now down under a minute. So this is looking pretty promising right now. 30 seconds, cutting it a little bit close here. There's no way. Is the opponent actually just going to abandon? All right, we're officially under 10 seconds. If my opponent abandons this, I am taking full credit for finessing the position and just playing extremely good chess, enough to rage quit the opponent. All right, nice. With that, we win game number 4. Let's go ahead and pop up the info board. All right, you won. Your opponent ran out of time. Your opponent's drawback was number of the beast. You can't move to the 6th rank. Oh, that explains why their attack was so short-lived. They played a4, b4, and then nothing else ever happened. You know, because they left the game. So yeah, I guess that could be rage-inducing. With that, we win game number 4. Let's go ahead and move on to game number 5. All right, game number 5, we're playing against Mr. Janitor. We do get the black pieces. It would be amazing if we could go 5 for 5. Our drawback is covering fire. You can only capture a piece if you could capture it in 2 different ways. Yeah, that is going to be very, very tough because if we do go for the checkmate, it's going to have to be an overwhelming attack. d5 still works because the queen sees the pawn, the other pawn sees its buddy, so if takes, I still have the option of taking back. Wait, did we win? All right, I have no idea what just happened. I had to leave for a moment, but it seems our opponent resigned. Let's go ahead and pop up the info board. Okay, your opponent resigned. Your opponent's drawback was rook on the 7th. By move 15, you must move one of your rooks onto the 7th rank. Let's go ahead and move on to game number 6. All right, game number 6, we are handed the white pieces. And our drawback is Warlord. At the start of move 12 and onwards, your king must not be on the first 2 ranks or lose. Okay, this is already quite a tragedy. So we do have 5 victories under our belt technically, but we'll play this out as a bonus game since a lot of you guys like to see me play extra anyways. Okay, where on earth are we gonna put this king? Let's play h4. I want to make this as subtle as you can possibly make a king moving onto the 3rd rank. Okay, we're immediately met with h5. I was kind of hoping we could play like g4, f3, and then move the king up this way. But that doesn't seem particularly possible. Okay, let's do this. Maybe we can get the king over to b3 and it'll be somewhat safe. We have 8 turns left. This already costs us 1, 2, 3 turns. So we basically have 4 to 5 turns to figure this out. Let's go b4. It'd be really nice if we could like close up that side of the board. Wait, f6 is really weak. Why can't I just play this? I've done that before as well. Just try to defeat the opponent before my drawback basically loses me the game. Let's go b5 with the idea of a4, and we can still bring the king over this way. 6 turns left. We get b6. Let's start our slow march over. And then with any luck, maybe we could play for like queen g6, maybe g3, bishop to h3, take advantage of all these weak and light squares. I have no idea what drawback would cause my opponent to play these moves. They'll look almost as bad as the moves that I've played. Unless they have the same drawback, which would be absolutely insane. That's never happened before. g5, wait, is there a chance they do? Let's play king to c2, because I can see this being a very, very natural idea. I mean, it's the only explanation that I can rationalize for f6. g4, interesting. Let's play a4, keep this nice and closed. And then after that, we can just play king b3, maybe e3. Okay, we're immediately put in check. Let's just go for it. We're gonna have to end up there anyways. And now we just kind of have to hunker down and be afraid of c6 and c5. Queen to d6, bishop to a3. c5 doesn't really work because of en passant. Queen goes back to d7. I think we're actually doing okay here. c5 is still kind of an issue. Let's play e3 with the idea that if c5, maybe c4, takes, c6 is, I mean, it makes sense, but if my opponent takes, I can take with the bishop, and that doesn't really look that bad for me. You know what, let's play c4 anyways. I mean, if the king's gonna be an attacking piece, we might as well put him to work. We have the idea of knight to c3, bring the rook out, and maybe we're looking at some attacking ideas. With the king, we're right there in battle. All right, e5, definitely looking to open up the center, which is definitely the right idea. Let's see, knight to c3, I still think we're doing okay. Okay, opponent takes. Let's take with, I guess we have to take with the rook, because the concern with taking with the king is like queen d6 check, queen to b4, which is still an idea, but yeah, queen d7 looks for queen to b4, but at least now I have knight to a2, and it doesn't look pretty, but it just barely holds on to the position. Pawn takes, I mean, very natural to take back with the bishop. Bishop back to e6, d5, trying to get more pieces involved. I have to remember that there's no other drawback besides the fact that my king is exposed. So I'm free to go for any sort of attack that I please and kind of poke around at my opponent's position and see if we can find out what their drawback is. Bishop, or rather rook to a7. Okay, it's looking for rook to d7, which pins the bishop to the queen. We're still going to play knight to e2. The idea that maybe e4, we can kind of just hold on to the center, reinforce it with a knight. It doesn't look very nice, but I mean, the king's on the third rank. The position is not going to look nice either way. Rook to d7, e4. King to f7. I wonder if I should be fighting to open up lines on the king side, like f4 or something like that. Let's give it a try, f4, why not? Let's just go for it. I mean, if our king is going to be exposed, the least we can do is try to expose our opponent's king as well. Queen to c5 targets this pawn. Let's reinforce it with a knight. I'd love to get this capture, open up a file, and have some attacking chances. I mean, this whole game has just been defensive. I mean, it makes sense. The king's on the third rank. You're going to have to play defensive chess. But the sooner we can kind of flip this on its head, I think the sooner that we'll actually be playing to win. We get pawn takes. Queen to e2 here is really interesting. If rook sacks, I take, queen to c4, and then we sort of just enter an endgame. Otherwise, I have queen to e6. Rook to d6 does cover e6, but I can double up now looking for queen to e8. Knight to h6 here, defends e8, develops the knight, and then I'm not really sure what I'm looking for. Maybe I should just try to trade queens. Like takes, and it's an even-ish endgame. We both have passed pawn ideas. And at that point, I'd have every reason to keep the king in the center. So in a way that would neutralize our drawback and hopefully make our opponent's drawback shine through. Oh, knight d7. Check, king here. Oh, I don't know if there's a follow-up to that. Yeah, I'm trying to balance out the idea of queen to e8 check, which looks nice. And there's a very small chance that the opponent wouldn't be able to move out of the way. With playing something like queen to c4, looking to just trade off the queens. Because this is concretely better, but this, you know, it has a little bit of that gambling side effect, where if they can't get out of check or anything like that, then it could be instantly winning. Okay, let's play this concretely. Queen to c4, trade everything off. Or at least, you know, trade the queens off so there's no attacking ideas. Queen to f2. Oh, that completely ignores our threat. Or I guess our trade-off, or you could call it. Queen to e4 defends the rook again. Queen to c7 is super interesting. Oh, there's ideas here. There's lots of ideas. Okay, let's do this. Rook to e2. And the idea is, even if the queen goes onto the back rank, there's actually no checks. Everything is defended by this knight. So we'll keep the rook on the open file. Queen to c7, there's attacking ideas. And I think we're looking pretty good here all of a sudden. I mean, unless the opponent goes back to c5, in which case, back to plan A, which was just trading off into an endgame anyways. Queen to g1. Is queen to c7 not just completely winning? Queen back to c5. Even queen to d8, ignoring that could be amusing, but let's give this a try. Queen to c7. Oh, knight c5 check I hadn't considered. King c4. And I think somehow we're actually okay there. There's no follow-up to that. Oh wait, knight c5 check is pinned. What am I talking about? I wish they would play that. I can just take the king. Down to 37 seconds for the opponent. Oh, queen to b1 check. Oh, that's just totally free. Sweet. Okay, I don't know if that was our opponent's drawback. I'm genuinely curious what my opponent's drawback is. I've uncovered 129 different drawbacks, and I still have a hard time identifying them. Knight to c5 is check, but I can just take the king. And with that, we win game number 6. All right, let's go ahead and pop up the info board. Okay, you won. You took your opponent's king. Your opponent's drawback was oddball. You can only capture on odd numbered moves. Oh, I don't think that honestly explains queen to b1, but they may have been calculating our attack and realizing it's very hard to defend an attack when you can't capture pieces. Anyways, with that, we do go 6 for 6 in this video. If you guys did enjoy this video, please consider liking and subscribing. Let me know down below what your favorite drawback is, and I will see you guys in the next one.